Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Press Start Podcast. This is episode 7, and I am once again here with my wonderful co-host, Mr. Nostalgic Dan 1. How are you, Dan?
I'm great. Getting ready to play games for 24 hours straight.
Yeah.
Stoked.
And my other co-host, the wonderful, the amazing, Mr. Enthusiastic, MrTechnosqueek. How are you?
I am feeling amazing right now. To have you back.
Yeah, we miss
I am back. It's good to be back. And another person who's back by popular demand. This guy is so epic and amazing. We just had to have him on more than once. Mr. GamezofWar, how are you, Josh?
I'm doing fabulous, and you're making me blush there, buddy.
Aww.
Good. That's my job. That is my job. So, Josh, why don't you tell us what you've been up to since the last time you've been on our podcast?
Okay, not much to tell. Same old MO. Playing games, playing a lot of Rage, a lot of Dark Souls.
Nice.
Enjoying both of those, very much so. Dark Souls has once again led to me having a bald spot in the back of my head from pulling out my hair repeatedly. And then other than that, the only thing new is just to give a shameless plug here, starting up a new podcast myself with fellow YouTubers Asian Guy Gamer, the 8-Bit Theater, and Mr. Point Blank Games. It's going to be called the Cross-Platform Podcast.
Nice.
Shooting the first episode, or not shooting, recording, this Saturday. So.
Nice.
Nice.
And this is on, what, iTunes?
Yeah, we still got to discuss some specifics.
Yeah.
I think we might do the YouTube channel and also on iTunes.
Yeah.
Hopefully. You know, none of us are radio DJs or anything, and just gamers. So we're all new to this. You know, we have no idea what the hell we're doing. We just like to talk about games, and you know, the conversations always go well between me and those guys. We all get along. You know, those guys are both really funny dudes.
Yeah.
So we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, the best thing you could probably do to get your podcast going is just, talk to people. I've got help from Tim, the Jumble Junkie, and Don Raven. They both helped us out a lot getting this thing up and running.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you know, I was on Don Raven's podcast, you know, and I guess that's one thing that's been. I mean, I've been on quite a few podcasts recently, so it's, you know, it's given me a little bit more confidence as, you know, speaking and having stuff that's interesting to talk about. So I thank you guys, you know, for having me on your podcast 2 times now, you know, giving me a little bit of experience, so to say. And I just want to say, Dan, I think that's amazing what you're doing with the charity, man. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be fun.
Yeah,
Great
why
cause.
don't you get into that since you brought it up?
Oh, yeah. Well, since this episode would probably be released on Saturday, which you're listening to right now, I'm actually playing games right now for 24 hours straight. I started at 8 a.m., going to 8 a.m. the next day, Sunday, and it's a 24-hour gaming live stream with extralife.org. Extralife.org is a partnership with Children's Miracle Network Hospitals, and Children's Miracle Network Hospitals is like these organizations of children's hospitals throughout the nation and even the globe. So like if you want to participate, participants select the hospital, the sponsor. So like I'm playing as sponsor of my local Phoenix Children's Hospital, raising money for that and playing some games, having a good time. Stop on by, chat it up, and donate if you can.
Sweet. So I'll definitely put a link to that below so people can check it out right after they listen to this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. It's got to feel good, you know, to you know, be able to do something like that, you know, where you're going to be benefiting kids. It's cool stuff.
I can't wait. I've got like a list planned out of like games I'm going to be playing and all that. So if you like RPGs, there's a lot of RPGs there.
How much money?
Can't stand them.
I know, I hate them. I'm just playing them so I can laugh my ass off.
How much money are you trying to raise?
My goal's 250.
Cool.
It can always be broken.
Nice, yeah. Well, I'll donate some. You definitely got the money from me. Don't worry about that.
Nice. And I know Point Blank Games just recently made a video talking about it, and also the podcast, so that's cool. If he's listening right now, thank you, man.
Yeah, it's definitely a good cause. Definitely what you're doing. Actually, isn't Kevin from the Mega Man Cave doing the same thing?
I thought so too. But I haven't heard anything.
No.
I thought he was doing there's another one called Child's Play, which I think that's a different time. I don't know.
Maybe that's what he's doing then.
I think it's Child's Play, but it's something similar. It's like a live stream.
So quick freeze, how about that Spider-Man Edge of Time?
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay, well, since you brought that up, might as well just get into the games we've been playing.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, well, since I wasn't on the last week's episode, I've been playing quite a bit since the last time I was on. As you just said, I was playing Spider-Man Edge of Time, and honestly, it's a good game, but I prefer Shattered Dimensions so much more over Edge of Time, mainly because the environment doesn't change all that much in Edge of Time, and Shattered Dimensions has a lot more supervillains in it. So, like, it's a good game, but it's just like, I like the different variety of supervillains in Shattered Dimensions than Edge of Time. So, like, you played it. What did you think of it, Josh?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. It just didn't do it for me like Shattered Dimensions. The repetitive environment, you're in that, what is it, Arkham or something, Alchemax facility. I forgot the name. But it's the entire game in that same environment, and I kind of missed all the different Spider-Men, to be honest with you. I mean, the graphics are really good. I'm a really big fan of the free-falling environments, where you got in 20,000 or 2099, you've got Spider-Man who's doing the free-falling sections, and that's a lot of fun. But other than that, I miss the variety of Shattered Dimensions.
Yeah.
Gameplay's pretty good in the new one, but I think it suffers. Well, Beanox, who did the company that developed the first one, I was reported they only had a year from concept to finish to get this one done. Probably because of Activision. You know how they like to milk shit out and get stuff out like that. So, I mean, they didn't have a lot of time to really give to the project, so I think it suffered because of that. And I was really looking forward to Edge of Time because, Shattered Dimensions was really good. It was the first Spider-Man to kind of pull the theme out of the open city and give it specific, enclosed levels and kind of a linear path to follow. And it really did Spider-Man justice, taking him out of the city. It was really fun. So I had really high hopes for Edge of Time, and sadly it just didn't come through.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but in Edge of Time, I had like a very hard time, especially when Spider-Man was like crawling on the walls and stuff. Like the camera angle was just kind of like weird. Like I couldn't move Spider-Man the way I wanted him to move, Yeah,
and I'm not a fan of how, how you could hit the jump button and hold it down, and you could kind of like, it was almost like if you were falling, you hit the jump button, hold it down, it would kind of shoot your webs out and pull you back up, and you could hold the button down and do it repeated times to get up higher. And this one you can only do it one time now, which there's a few sections in the levels where the building opens up and it's like a multi-layered room where you need to get up higher. You can't just hold the jump button down and keep going higher and higher. It's only one time, and it's kind of gay.
Yeah, I didn't like that either. The whole ziplining thing, it heavily relied on the ziplining thing, and that just didn't do it for me. But it's still a good game, but I definitely prefer Shattered Dimensions over Edge of Time any day. The only thing I found good about Edge of Time is there was a very interesting plot twist halfway through the game. I won't spoil it for anyone who's listening, because it was actually a really good plot twist. So if you guys like Spider-Man, I recommend it. but I'm just saying Shattered Dimensions is way more better.
Definitely. I will say that Edge of Time had some phenomenal voice work. Like, none of the Spider-Mans were annoying, and the story was pretty good. I thought it was really cool how it was constantly shifting back and forth between, you know, the future and the present. That was really cool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it wasn't all bad, but could have been a lot better.
And, let's see, recently I just picked up a PS3 for the first time.
Yeah.
Yay! Yay!
Little clap.
Yeah, little clap. And the first game I played for it, and I've already mentioned this on past episodes, was X-Men Destiny. And honestly, that game is not worth $60. I'm sorry.
I know.
That game is like a $20 game. I borrowed it from a friend, and I beat it in like 5 hours. It's a good game. It's if you break it down, it's just a pure button masher game. You can pick any superpower you want from the beginning of the game, and you'll get through it simply by button mashing. The best part of X-Men Destiny, I think, is the characters and the cutscenes. The gameplay, not so much. So, yeah, if you guys are interested in X-Men Destiny at all, definitely wait till it's like $20 used, because it's definitely not worth the asking price what it is now.
Yeah. I saw reviews on it. It got a lot of bad reviews. It got bad.
Yeah, like it's an okay game. It's just simply worth $20. It's
Now that was by the same company that did Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 as well, isn't it? Isn't it Raven?
I don't have the X-Men Destiny in front of me, so I can't tell you. Because I returned it.
Shit
but yeah, so, other than that, I've been playing more Kirby Mass Attack. I finally got past the 4th island, and, I can proceed in the game, but I have to go back and collect all the rainbow medallions in the game that will let me continue on, so I'm still playing that, still love it. And, what else have I been... Oh, I've been playing a little bit of Final Fantasy VII, because, Adewell, told me I should go back and play it, so I had some spare time. I went back and played that, and, honestly, I'm having a hard time getting used to the controls again, because I'm trying to use the analog stick, and you can't move Cloud around with the analog stick. You gotta use the D-pad, so it's like I'm still trying to get used to the controls, and they're a little stiff and blocky, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of annoying, but I don't remember it the way I want to remember how I used to play it. I guess that's the best way to say it. But I got to the part where I'm breaking into like the Shinra headquarters, and I'm like, I gotta stop this game. The controls are kind of getting to me. But that's about it, really. For video games, I've been playing a lot of more of the Yu-Gi-Oh, the card game and stuff like that. But I've been trying to make a burn deck. I built one, and it failed miserably. So I'm gonna stick with my elemental heroes. Yeah. But that's about it. So, how about you, Dan?
Okay, well, I picked up Demon's Souls again, and it's like, the reason I picked it up is because I admit at first when I played Demon's Souls, like everyone else, I was struggling. Like, I was just dying every time and just getting pissed off. Like, the game was pissing me off. But then I started talking to Bracy, because Bracy loves the game. He's so passionate about Demon's Souls and Dark Souls. And he recommended, like, another class, so I started off as a Royal this time. And oh my god, as soon as I changed to Royal, I'm having so much more fun with this game. And it's so much easier because the Royal class has like a sword and magic access, so you can use like a sword, and then you can lock on and just spam enemies from long distance with magic, and it makes the game so much easier. So I'm actually making progress for the first time in the game, and I just beat like my first boss, which was like the big giant like phalanx thing. I finally beat that, and it just feels good to be making progress in that game. So I actually can't wait to play more of that sometime soon. And then I started up an RPG I recently got, and that is NIS's newly released Atelier Totori, The Adventure of Arlen. And I put, so far, like, I picked it up that last weekend, and I put like 8 hours into it, and I'm really enjoying the game. Like, I didn't play Rorana, and like, that was like before Totori, and so I didn't feel lost. So it's not like necessary to play Rorana because it's a different kind of story. But I'm really enjoying it. I'm basically just having so much fun, like doing alchemy in the game, which the game's heavily alchemy based. So there's so much fun having to like pick up quests and having to gather specific items from different dungeons and bringing them back and crafting different stuff and just accepting quests to like hunt down specific monsters and kill a certain amount of these monsters. It's just a lot of fun. You recruit different party members so you could change your party all the time. And the music is amazing in the game. I'm just so happy I got that CD because I'm falling in love with the music in the game. It's just a really quirky, like really lighthearted, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I didn't think I'd enjoy it as much as I did. But
What system is this for?
PlayStation 3.
Okay.
Exclusive. Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about that actually because myself, I couldn't get into the Atelier Rorona. I don't know what it is about NIS games. I really am having trouble getting into their RPGs. The last one I tried was Artonelico, the Knoll of RCL, and I just, that was probably the closest I've gotten into getting into one of their games, but I don't know if it's, I'm not a really big fan of alchemy and crafting things, and I don't know, like Rorona I tried, and I prefer more of just a big grand adventure, like
Vesperia.
Yeah, that's my kind of RPG, and
Same here.
when it gets down to the alchemy and the crafting and the going out in the dungeons and getting items and crafting, I just don't think that, I don't know, I was on the fence about Totori, but listening to you talk about it, I don't think it's my kind of RPG.
Yeah,
I love the art style. I mean, everything looks great. I love the packaging, and unfortunately, it's the gameplay that doesn't do it for me.
yeah, you really gotta like alchemy to appreciate these games. If you like alchemy, I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun, and the dungeons, it's like a standard turn-based battle system. Like, it's as bare bones as it gets. It's like attack, item, flee, run, and like other stuff. Like, it's just standard bare bones turn-based. So it is really alchemy based. So if you don't like that, you kind of get to be bored a little bit in the game because you basically can't progress in the story unless you do alchemy and stuff like that.
Now, do you feel the need to go out and pick up, track down a copy of Rorona, seeing as how you like the Totori so much? You want to have them both, or does that?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do that. Like, I'll play through Totori and try and beat it, but I definitely want to get Rorana and the same premium edition. The other ones, like, I don't know, like Hyperdimension Neptunia is really rare, the premium edition, and Artonelico Quagga is like really rare. But I heard Artonelico Quagga isn't really that good compared to the other two on the PlayStation 2, which I recently picked up. It should be coming soon, Artonelico 2 on the PlayStation 2.
Yeah, it was a pretty good game. I will say it's extremely strange.
Yeah, especially that one. Oh my God, there's a lot of perverted humor in there.
Yeah, like the Tonelico games have always been, the whole cosmosphere and diving into the cosmosphere, which is basically the equivalent to having sex, but just in the game, worded differently. And there's a lot of sexual innuendos and lots of perverted comments and just like, wow, really? It's definitely out there. The battle system tries its best to emulate a Tales of game. Not quite as good.
Yeah, they changed that up from the other two on the PS2 because those were like turn-based, and then they tried something new with that.
Yeah, and I will say that change is for the better, providing you like action-oriented battle systems. It is for the better, I think. And it's cool how the song magic works, how the Revitales charge up song magic. I do like that aspect of it. It's just I just have such a hard time following the storyline because you got cross-dressing like a men. Like one of the main characters, she's a villain. It's a big, huge, buff guy, but I think it's a girl. I'm not quite sure what it is. And some pretty bad voice acting. But, I didn't try Neptunia. But I can say that this generation, the NIS games, are just not cutting it for me. I think the last one I really liked from them is I do like Blade Dancer on the PSP. I do like Dragoneer's Aria. And I do like, they had one more, what was it on the PSP? Ada's Eclipse, which is a really, really cool strategy RPG. I do like those games very much, but the console games have really been hit or miss. And I saw a copy of Battle Dimension, or Hyper Dimension Neptunia. They had it at a couple at GameStop. I really wish I would have picked that up, and so, you know, it's worth some money now.
Yeah, it's impossible to find the premium edition of that. It's like worth $100+.
Wow. I do have the Artsonical Quoga with the, if you pre-ordered it off the NIS site, which is really the way to go if you're going to be getting these games, because they usually include a exclusive item that you can't get in the stores. I got that calendar.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
They did that for Totori too. If you pre-ordered Totori from there, you get a 18x24 double-sided tear-resistant poster.
Nice. Yeah, that's one thing I encourage your listeners for sure. If you're going to get these RPGs, always check the website of the publisher to get it from there, because a lot of times they include really cool stuff that you can't get. And plus, I want to see GameStop get as little business as possible.
Yeah.
Bastards.
Josh, how do you feel about the Disgaea games? Because we have Play Liz on there, and he loves Disgaea, and that's also by, like, NIS. You ever get into those?
I've tried very, very hard to get into them. I think that, I mean, granted, you can just play the main story and not do any of the other stuff, but it's just so overwhelming with things to do. I have a hard time getting into the games. The first one, I will say, I really did like story-wise. I thought that Lahara was a great character. I thought that it was very humorous. I liked the Prinnies. And I thought it was a good game. I mean, it's a solid strategy RPG. The thing that I didn't like about the Disgaea games is when you start getting into all the geo modes, where the different colored triangles that had the different effects that alter the battlefield and create all different kinds of crazy outcomes. And then you got the item world to enter, and it just goes so far. If they would have just stuck to a regular strategy RPG, you know, stick to the storyline, not include all those crazy, the geo symbol, georama, I would have liked it much better. But I do like the storyline and characters in the dialogue. I think it's really well done. It's just, I'm more of a Shining Force or Fire Emblem kind of strategy fan, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I was trying to get into Disgaea 3, and I'm just having a really hard time. Because like you mentioned, like the battle system just starts to introduce so many new things, like the geo cubes, and the battles start to get so ridiculous.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah, it really is, and you have to learn so much, like going to class, and like you have to do all this kinds of crazy stuff in class, and it's like really over the top.
It is. The whole picking up and throwing thing, where you can
oh my god,
enemies, and it's just overkill for me.
Yeah, it's just like you said, I want to play some like Shining Force or something standard turn-based strategy.
Yeah. That's probably I mean, Shining Force does everything so right, man. I mean, if you like strategy RPGs, definitely Shining Force 1 and 2 on the Genesis, and then if you got some money to burn, Shining Force 3 on the Saturn. Just epic games.
You know what I just saw on that game? They made an anime series based on that game.
The Disgaea?
Oh,
Yeah.
Disgaea?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it at Best Buy like a few days ago, and I found out it's kind of like roughly based on the first game.
It's a good one.
Like, I've never played the game or seen the anime, but like I saw the cover and I'm like, I'm almost intrigued to buy it just because I'm somewhat interested.
Yeah, NIS does a lot of anime. They're a big anime seller too. They have tons of anime.
Well, I'm glad they picked the first Disgaea game if they're going to do a story, because that's really the best story that they've told, in my opinion. The Hara was really cool, and I liked how, you know, Etna was trying to kill him, and she wanted him dead to take over, but yet she wasn't.
Spoilers.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm just kidding.
It doesn't even know.
Well, actually, it's not really a spoiler, because, I mean, shit, 5 minutes into the game, you already know what's going on with her, you know what I mean, where she pulls out the big weapons and, you know, but, I mean, it's a really good story coming from them, you know, for the first Disgaea. The second one's pretty cool, too. The PSP versions are, in my opinion, it's the ones to get because they have a lot of extras and extra scenarios in that. I guess if I had to play a Disgaea, it would be on the PSP.
Yeah, I was curious about those.
They're really good as far as having extras that the console versions don't have. And I will say that I really did enjoy the Disgaea Infinite, which was exclusive to the PSP, which was almost like a graphic novel with a time-traveling hook to it. Really good artwork, and it's based on characters from the Disgaea series, obviously. It's got, Laharl in there, and the storyline goes something like one of the Prinnies stole Etna's pudding, and she's like ready to kill out all the Prinnies, and you've got to figure out by traveling back in time, and you can possess certain characters, and the storyline will change depending on who you're possessed by, and you can. It's really cool. It's a unique game, and I think it was like $20 when it came out. It was like a budget title, brand new, and if you're a fan of this Gaia storyline, mostly the first one and characters from the second and third, I definitely would recommend Disgaea Infinite on the PSP.
Nice. Gonna have to check that out.
How about Disgaea 4? Have you ever played that one?
Just came out.
Yeah, I'm interested. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, playlists seem to really like it. He says it's really good.
I'm just looking for like really good PS3 games. So.
Well, I would say, well, definitely you'll love it. 3D Dot Game Heroes by Atlas and From Software. And then if you want to get pissed off, you could try out Demon Souls.
I'm good with Demon Souls. Thank you very much.
I'm going to suggest Heavy Rain to you, man. Heavy Rain is like a phenomenal PS3 exclusive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's one I definitely want to get. 3D Dot Heroes, Heavy Rain, what a few, Infamous 1, Uncharted. There's a few I definitely want to get. So.
Yeah.
Folklore too. Check out Folklore, man. That's a really overlooked early on gem on the PS3.
Folklore, okay.
Valkyria Chronicles.
Definitely. Which did you hear, Dan, that the third one is not coming to U.S.?
No, I did not hear that.
Not coming. Staying in Japan.
It sucks. What was the third one on in Japan? PSP?
PSP.
Oh.
Which a lot of gamers groaned and moaned that the second one was coming out for the PSP instead of the PS3. I love the game. The second one is just as good, if not better, than the first. And I think it really sucks that the third one's not coming out.
Yeah. Complete the trilogy.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, any of those like Sony games you're good with, like Resistance, Uncharted, and all those. There's plenty of games.
I'm really a fan of Darksiders, and I really can't wait for the second one to come out.
I love that game.
That was a really good game.
Yeah, that reminds me, I need to get back into that game. I haven't played it for a long time.
And the second one is it looks like it's going all out, man. For sure.
Yeah, I need to get back into that game. It's been a while.
Speaking of Demon Souls, I just managed to talk a friend into selling me the original Demon Souls Deluxe Edition.
Nice.
Yeah, the little strategy guide it comes with in the book and the CD soundtrack. And
it's pretty hard to find.
Yeah, it's getting really pricey, man.
Even the Dark Souls one is starting to go up in price because that's kind of rare now too.
It's crazy. Dan, I wanted to ask you, have you played Sands of Destruction on the DS?
No, and like I was tempted like a couple months ago, Amazon had it for like only like $12 or something, and I was tempted to play it, but like I couldn't find any decent reviews on it and all that.
It's really good. I really enjoy Sands of Destruction, and that's also as an anime that's on sale at Best Buy.
Yeah.
Saw the Sands of Destruction anime, and it's a really good game. I know that some people. It came from like some big name guys. I think like the creator of Final Fantasy and like some other guys. There was like 3 big guys that got together and did the RPG. I'm not sure who it was off the top of my head because it's been a while. But I think the expectations were sky high, and some people felt disappointed. But taken as its own, Sands of Destruction is a phenomenal RPG. I really like it. I'm enjoying it right now. I'm about 10 hours into it.
Nice.
Very, very good. And on the topic of DS, man, I tell you, I just picked up Alien Infestation on Tuesday.
Ooh.
and holy shit, that game is awesome. It's done by WayForward. You know, WayForward seems to be on a roll on the DS. They did Contra 4 and the Nano Stray 1 and 2 and the upcoming Nano Assault for the 3DS. They really know how to make a good 2D game. Also Shantae series. But Alien Infestation, you know, I'm sure you guys have heard all about it. It makes full use of the Alien franchise license. They got permission from the movie company to use all the storylines and characters and whatnot. And it's done in a similar style to Metroid and Castlevania, where you can't access certain areas until you have the proper key card. And just some great animation, excellent atmosphere. I'm really enjoying that game on the DS.
Nice. I think that's it for me for games I've been playing recently. Those are the only two I actually played for a while. So yeah, Josh, why don't you tell us more about what you've been playing?
Alright, yeah, other than the ones I just mentioned, there's another RPG, action RPG, that I also think you would like, Dan. It's Solo to Robo.
Oh, I want that. I mentioned it, and it's like, I'm worried that I won't be able to get the box set one if I don't buy it soon.
Yeah, those are the ones. That's one of the ones it'll probably turn it into a Radiant Historia, as far as, you know, they'll probably do a second print run if it sells out, but it's not going to have the little box set or the soundtrack, which is phenomenal. I did a video a couple weeks back, and it was a pickup video, and I played the Soul Turbo soundtrack in the background, and it's got some great tunes on there, and I was really happy it was a physical soundtrack with a nice little sleeve in there. And it's an action RPG that really is not like anything I've played on the DS. It's really cool. You play as like a dog, not Dog the Bounty Hunter, go figure, but an actual dog. And he's a bounty hunter that rides in this mech suit. And the battle system is really cool because it's you know, real time, and it stays on the same screen. It doesn't like switch screens and go to a turn-based thing. And you walk up to the enemies with your mech suit, and you grab onto them, and then there's like a little timer above the enemy, and you got to mash the button, and when you fill that up, you kind of throw them up into the air, and then you can either wait for them to come back down and time it, so you hit the button again where you grab onto them and then smash them into the ground, or you can throw them up into the air and jump up into the air with them, grab onto them, smash them against the ground. They're going to bounce off the ground, and you can catch them again, or jump in the air and catch them again, and do a nice little juggle in for extra damage. And there's all kinds of, like, I've played it, all kinds of new gameplay options open up as the game goes on. There's flying sections, there's races, there's, you know, a good story so far, good script, good localization. So I'm really enjoying that one. It's really highly recommended.
Yeah. And for people who don't know, Solo to Robo is like a spiritual successor to Tel Concerto on the PlayStation 1. So yeah, I definitely want to check that out.
Good stuff. And on the Tales note, I had this game when it first came out, and that was back when I was into trading in games for some reason, and it was Tales of the World: Radiant Mythology.
Yeah.
I bought that again. I found a really nice copy, and I couldn't pass it up, which is kind of a different kind of Tales game. It kind of, it's more of a dungeon crawler where it throws in other Tales characters. I think Luke from Tales of the Abyss is in there. I forget the guy's name from Tales of Legendia. I forgot his name. Shit. But he's in it, and some other returning characters from previous Tales games, and it's really well done on the PSP. I'm enjoying that quite a bit. So other than that, you know, the Dark Souls and Rage, which Rage is really impressing me. The graphics are probably some of the best I've ever seen at a distance, and when it's 60 frames per second, so it moves very smooth. And it looks a little rough sometimes when you're up close to certain objects. It can look a little funny, some blurry textures and whatnot. And I will say that the story is somewhat lackluster. A lot of fetch quests, and it seems like the whole story is made up of just individual fetch quests. You know, I know that those guys are like the masters of shooting mechanics and visuals, which are both very well done in the game. I mean, the shooting is phenomenal. You'll shoot a guy in the shoulder, and he'll blast back onto the ground and scramble to get back in cover holding his arm. You know, really realistic physics to where they react to where they're shot, which is really cool. But it just could have used some more emphasis on good storytelling and meaningful quests. That would have really helped the overall game. But you know, for what it is, it's pretty impressive. So I'm really enjoying that. The driving is phenomenal. It almost is like it plays a lot like MotorStorm, to be honest with you. The first MotorStorm, the racing is really good, really responsive, and it's cool driving around in that the whole kind of like a Badlands type feel. Really good game. Other than that, that's about all I've been playing recently.
Nice. What about Dark Souls? I thought you said Dark Souls or something.
Yeah, Dark Souls. I haven't played too much of it because I want to finish Rage first.
Yeah.
But just it's you know it's exactly what I expected. I do like some of the improvements. I like the campfires, the additions of the campfires that help break it up a little bit. And I don't think it's. I've heard before it came out, everybody was saying, "Oh, it's even harder than Demon Souls." I don't think it's more difficult than Demon Souls. I think it's on par with Demon Souls. If you enjoyed Demon Souls, I think you're going to love Dark Souls. And vice versa. For those that just jumped straight into Dark Souls, I think you really need to go back and play Demon Souls for sure. Because they're definitely something that's not... you don't see a game like these much this generation at all anymore. And for me, they're both a breath of fresh air as far as challenge and atmosphere and things like that.
Yeah.
So
what about Techno? I think it's time for Techno to tell us what he's been playing recently.
It's not much.
Okay. Still say
it. But I've been playing more X-Men vs. Street Fighter. I've been practicing with Cyclops and Gambit, because Gambit's my boy. I love Gambit. What else? Played some Dead or Alive 3 on the original Xbox. And I played some NBA Jam on Fire Edition. And that is it. So, it is time for some gaming news. And these first two are about Batman Arkham City, since it is coming out Tuesday. And it's going to be so badass. Alright, so everyone knows Catwoman's going to be in there. Extra character. But you have to buy a VIP pass to access her. It's one of those like online passes where it's one code and you just put it in and there you go. And it's only available to people who buy new. So whenever, if you buy the game used, you have to buy her for like on for Xbox Live it's like 800 Microsoft points, but on PS3 it will be $10. And yeah, and there's 2 additional pay-to-play characters. I thought Nightwing was unlockable in the game, but you have to pay to play as him, and the other one is Robin.
It's just another way. It's just another way of trying to cut down on the sale of used games by making you buy it brand new for the online pass, so you can get the content.
Yeah, honestly, I don't mind, because I'd rather buy the game brand new. I'm going to buy it on day one. I reserved mine at Best Buy so I could get the Robin character, so...
Yeah.
Are you picking that up, Josh, the Batman game?
for sure, definitely. really looking forward to that. I think the first one was superhero perfection, so.
Yeah, I definitely can't wait for Batman Arkham City. I'm going to play that thing at least twice. Dan hates Batman.
Sure do. I don't hate him. I just buy his game new when it's $20. I love him for cheap.
I love him for cheap. The most wealthiest superhero ever, and you want to buy him cheap.
Yeah.
I want that statue. Bad.
Dude, I want that statue too, but like, I really have no room for that thing.
We'll make room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just move my Rob the Robot.
Yeah. Just throw him out the window or something.
Dude, no way. That's nostalgic history right there. You should, of all people, should know that. What are you getting it on, Josh? The 360 or the PS3?
I'm going to get it on PS3 because I've got the first one on PS3. I bought that due to the Joker being on the PS3 version.
Yeah.
I'm getting mine on 360.
I got some more Batman.
Let's have it.
More Batman news. If that I just found. You know, the extended cut of the new Green Lantern movie that's coming out.
Can't wait.
Yeah, it comes out tomorrow.
Well, yeah, if you buy that on Blu-ray, you get a skin of Batman for Arkham City, of him in some getup of the like Green Lantern uniform.
Oh,
you know,
really? The
I think
Green
I've
Lantern
seen
Batman?
some. Yeah.
Huh. I'm actually
Pretty
quite
cool.
interested in that.
Yeah, it's actually out right now. I'm going up to Walmart, dude, in just a few.
A few minutes.
In just a few. I'm going to snatch it. I think that movie was really good in the theaters, man. That was like some of the best 3D I've seen since Avatar. Really, you know, when it pisses me off that it didn't do as well as, like, Thor, you know, because I enjoyed Green Lantern more than Thor.
Oh, really?
I did.
Hmm. I don't think it was better than Thor, but I think it's right up there with Thor.
I just didn't enjoy how Thor spent so much time. I mean, I know it stuck pretty true to the source material, but I don't know, man.
Well, so did Green Lantern, so...
Yeah, I just think that, I mean, the guy that they picked to do Thor did a great job, you know. You know, big buff, sexy dude, no homo, but he did a good job.
Yeah, but if that's definitely true with the Green Lantern extended Blu-ray, man, I'll definitely be picking that up tomorrow. I was gonna pick it up on Blu-ray anyway, but I'll definitely make sure to get the extended version. So.
Yeah, have you heard like what the extended cut is, like how much footage put back in or anything like that, or?
No, I haven't heard anything like that, but honestly, I don't care, because I would buy that movie anyway, just because it's a superhero. I buy everything superhero related. It's like a curse. So, I'll probably get the DVD, Blu-ray, digital download combo pack.
Right on.
Hold on. Before we get off, I'm not for sure, because I'm not big into Green Lantern, but it says it's Sinestro, not Green Lantern. I'm not for sure. You might know. Wait, freeze. I don't know what that is.
Sinestro,
Sinestro, get up.
Sinestro is the arch-villain of the Green Lantern. He's like the Yellow Lantern.
Oh, okay. Okay, it's not Green Lantern then. Sorry. It is Sinestro.
Well,
and
Sinestro was a Green Lantern before he turned evil. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So just saying it's Sinestro, it could mean he could be in the green costume or he could be in the yellow costume. You don't know. So.
It turns out that this actually is for some canon thing for Sinestro Corp's once recruited Batman, known for his ability to strike fear into others, and Batman was able to reject the ring and yeah.
Okay.
So.
Well, yeah, the power of fear is the yellow power. So. I don't know. I'll be definitely interested in getting that tomorrow and seeing what's exactly inside. So.
Definitely.
Yeah. And also, it's only for the PS3 version, like Mortal Kombat had for the Mortal Kombat movie for Blu-ray.
Wait a minute.
Sorry, 360.
So if I get this Blu-ray movie, I can't use the Sinestro code? That's bull.
Only if you play Batman Arkham City on PS3.
Oh, well, which I won't, so that's completely useless to me then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta. Hey, quick freeze. I kind of cut out, dude. So I want to thank you guys for having me on once again. It's always fun talking to all you guys. You guys are all, cool dudes, man. Great channels on YouTube, great podcast. And be sure to check out the cross-platform podcast, Games of War, Point Blank Games, 8-Bit Theater, Asian Gamer Guy. And I hope to have one, if not all of you guys on very soon. Return the favor.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Great talking to you guys again, man. You guys take it easy.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for being
Later,
on.
Josh.
Yeah, later, fellas.
See ya.
Later.
Later.
So is that all your news, Techno?
I have like one little bit something. It's about some action figures about Arkham Asylum that
Ooh.
just came
I like action figures.
Of course you do.
Okay. It's only 3, but all right. Here we have some Batman Arkham Asylum action figures coming out. There's Joker, Batman, all those awesome. Dude, the Batman one looks awesome. You can find these at Kotaku. Trying to see. The Joker one looks awesome as well. And yeah, I believe, that is it. Batman and Joker.
Yeah, I've actually seen those figures on YouTube. If you guys are interested, go to YouTube and type in Pixel Dan, and he does a lot of videos based on superhero. It's just superhero stuff related, like He-Man, Batman, Thundercats, Ghostbusters, pretty much anything action figure related. And I actually seen the entire toy line of those figures. He had Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, Batman. He had the metallic Batman. He had the this Comic-Con Batman, Bane. Who else? Did I say Harley Quinn? But yeah, he had Harley Quinn, Joker, and I'm probably forgetting one other character, but yeah, I've seen that entire toy line. Very detailed figures.
Also, about Sony. Sony will be starting doing online passes for all their games. Now that means just Sony-made products or games for their PS3. That doesn't mean like Jack and Daxter, or well,
Yeah.
Sony kind of. Yeah, Sony is the producer, I think.
They're the publisher of it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think of something. I can't think of nothing. Some RPG that isn't Sony related. That won't have an online pass, but everything else, like Killzone, you're going to have an online pass to play the multiplayer, which I'm not a big fan of Killzone, except I might buy me one of those keypad things and one of those mice, and you can play with it on, PS3. But yeah, what do you guys think about all that crap?
Now, do you have to buy these online passes or something? Like from PSN?
No, it's like, Mortal Kombat, where it came with the new copy.
Oh, okay.
So this is for their upcoming games, just not like games that are already out?
Yeah. Yeah, no.
So it's something they're going to start doing, like every new Sony game is going to have an online pass.
Yes.
It's, again, just a way of cutting down on used game sales. Lots of companies are cracking down on this.
Yep. It's just the way it goes nowadays.
Honestly, I don't think it'll affect that much because, if it's a game a person's going to buy, like, again, let's bring up Batman Arkham City. If it's like a game that you're truly, like, interested in, you're going to buy day one, you're going to buy it brand new. So, like, that really doesn't matter in the end.
Yeah.
But if you're a person like Dan, or who's not interested in Batman...
Then I could still get it. When it's brand new for $20 and it'll still have an online code. Yeah,
that's true. But, like, but again, you're not, like, really interested. So you could buy used and just not... If you're not interested in playing online, then you don't have to play online.
Yeah.
Yeah, for, like, because Batman, you don't need to go online, but I'm just using that as an example. But, so...
Yeah, so
but yeah, if you're going to pay... If it's for a game that you really, really love and are looking forward to, you're going to buy it day one brand new, so it really shouldn't affect anything, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what about rentals, though? Like, say something like Killzone, you rent it, and you can't play it online, and that's where, most of the fun is from the online.
Well, that's what Dan said. It's going to hurt GameStop. It's going to hurt or other companies. It's going to hurt like Netflix when
GameFly.
GameFly. It's going to hurt those companies, and I think that's the true goal of the service or the marketing ploy.
That's what they want. They're trying to put out GameStop out of business with used games because it costs the companies money. Like GameStop, when they sell a used game, they get 100% of that money, and the company who made the game gets zero, nothing, squat. So that's why you buy games brand new, because then say you pay $60 for a game brand new, all that money goes to the seller, or the developer, publisher. So they're just trying to crack down on used games.
Yeah. Okay, before we get to you, Dan, and your news, I want everyone to comment down below and tell me what you think about this, about Sony doing this with all their games.
Yeah. And what do you think in general about companies trying to crack down on used game sellers? Just tell us.
We would love to hear from you.
Tell us.
And we could probably
So,
read it
Dan.
next episode.
So Dan, are you ready?
Oh God, I'm ready. I just saw this. I've just been reading it so much. I'm so excited for this game now. Oh my God, I can't wait.
Bring it.
The news is, the story's called How Corpse Party Got an Invitation for Localization. And of all people, shocker, it's Xseed who wants to localize it. It's not official yet because there's still problems with the license agreement. Xseed's confident that they can work out an agreement with the license to localize Corpse Party. And this game is amazing. Oh my God, I'm looking at screenshots and it's coming, if they could work it out soon, it's coming out at the right time. Because, Xseed, they love to do RPG games and all that, but this is really intriguing. What this is they got an explanation here. It's almost imagine it's a 16-bit horror adventure RPG. It's really bizarre. The way it tries to scare you is with the images and pictures and the sketches in game. It's got Japanese voice acting. It's really anime, but it's got a 16-bit style. But it's more emphasis on making decisions and exploring. But I heard it seems to be a really creepy game. Gameplay. Oh, here we go. Gameplay-wise, the easiest way to describe Corpse Party is a 16-bit style RPG. At any given point in time, you're controlling a party of 1 to 3 2D sprite-based characters and wandering the 2D tile-based halls of Heavenly Host Elementary School. You can examine virtually anything in any of the classrooms, talk to spirits, search the corpses of the dead children for some clue as to their identities, and flip switches, pick up items, use items, all the stuff you typically do in RPGs. Only without random battles getting in your way. Instead of fighting, you're making decisions, and not just multiple choice options of things to say, but also decisions as to what rooms you will and will not enter, what objects you will and will not search, what order in which to accomplish certain tasks, and all these decisions ultimately determine how the current chapter of the story will end for you. There are no game over screens in Corpse Party, only bad endings. It's every decision you make really has a dramatic effect on the game, and you make choices to do literally probably everything. I'm looking at screenshots and some of the images. I saw the intro movie and it's really disturbing. I can't wait for this game. So think of it 16-bit RPG, disturbing horror adventure game just without RPG style battles. And that's what this game is. It's called Corpse Party, Blood-Covered Repeated Fear. That's its full name. So I have no idea. Xseed's still trying to work things out with the license agreement from, I guess the company is called 5PB. So they're trying to work out a license with them to hopefully localize this for America on the PSP. I can't wait for this. If this comes out, it's a day one purchase for me.
It looks pretty good.
Looks really good. It looks just disturbing, and I'm reading about the story, and the story just sounds disturbing. I wonder if it'd be rated M for mature or T for teen. I wonder how disturbing it really is.
It kind of reminds me of Sweet Home, just a little bit.
Yeah, except there's no battles.
Yeah.
But I'm just really interested in the fact that you have to make a decision for literally everything. Should we search this corpse or not? Should we enter this room next? Should we open this treasure chest or whatever? It's and then every little tiny decision will drastically change either that chapter's ending or the overall ending in general. Yeah. So keep an eye out for that. Hopefully, here's fingers crossed that Xseed can work out the license agreement for this game and bring it out. It'd be something truly unique. We haven't seen something like this in a while. So that is called Corpse Party. If you want to look that up, it's on the full article is on siliconera.com. They got a lot about it if you want to read up on that.
Sweet.
Yeah, so what about you, Clive? Any news?
Nah, not really. Like, I just recently got my whole internet situation back 2 days ago, so I kind of been out of the loop. So
Yeah. Well, honestly, that's about it for news, and because there hasn't been a whole lot to talk about this week. Kind of a slow week.
So, guys, everyone knows that we like to shout out another YouTuber on this podcast. And this week's shout out goes to ReturntoMotherBase. And he's a nice guy. He's very cool. And he does a lot of question videos. He's almost at 100 subs. And he's actually at 100 subs, 104 to be exact. And he does questions, and he calls them nerd questions. And his latest one is, what is your annual game? So I'm going to ask you, Dan, what is your annual game?
So he means by a game we like to go back to every year? Something like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, man, it's hard to say. I guess for me, I just love going back to, every year, but I play them almost every other month, basically, and that's Super Mario World and Sonic the Hedgehog 2, just to go back to my childhood days and have some fun playing classic platformers. And I also have to play Super Mario RPG every year again, because it's not that long of an RPG, and it's just so much fun, so much quirkiness with Mario and all that. Great game. So those are probably my annual games. What about you, Clive? What's your annual games?
I don't really have a game I would play every year, but if I were to pick a game that I could just pick up anytime within the year and just have fun with it, it would probably have to be Pac-Man for any system, any version of it. I love that game. I could play it for hours. Most recently, I picked up the Pac-Man Galaga Dimensions for the 3DS, and I absolutely love that game. Other than that, probably just Mega Man 2. I could just pick that game up anytime, any year, any time during that year, and just play it. Those are two amazing games. What about you, Techno?
Well, I actually answered this question in his comments on that video, and I left him a couple, but I'd have to say the number one would either be Sonic 3 and Knuckles or Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse. Yeah. Pretty badass. I know.
Yeah, so definitely check him out. I've been subscribed to him for a while. I really enjoy his channel. He's a great guy, just genuine guy, and he likes a lot of kind of quirky niche stuff like I do, Atelier games, weird NIS titles and those kind of RPGs. So really great guy, and congratulations if you're listening to this. I'm passing 100. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, go subscribe to him, or I'll bust out your kneecaps with my original Xbox.
Or the fat PS2. Damn.
Techno, I gotta ask, what's with all
PS2.
I gotta ask, man, what's with all the breaking of the kneecaps?
Is it like that?
Because I like to give my shout-outs,
Through bodily harm?
Because...
They're threats.
Yes.
Alright.
Yeah.
Works for me. Okay, guys, this is the part of the podcast where we get into our segments. And for my segment, I'm going to get into games that I used to play as a child. But this one I'm going to talk about, I didn't really play this one as a child. I actually played this one a few months ago, but it's an old game. This is Splatterhouse Wanpaku Graffiti for the Japanese Famicom. You guys ever try this game?
I've been trying to track down a copy of it on the original Famicom.
Well, I will tell you how to get one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a reproduction. I want the original. Really bad.
Oh, yeah. Well, you can try to get the original on eBay. I've
Yeah.
seen it there a few times, but yeah, I did a review on this game from my channel. It's a great game, and as I mentioned before, it's called Splatterhouse Wanpaku Graffiti, translated to Translator Naughty Graffiti. It sounds kind of kinky, but
Yeah.
and it's actually it's actually the second game in the Splatterhouse franchise, but it's actually a prequel to the first Splatterhouse on the TurboGrafx 16. And it was the only game on the Japanese Famicom, and it was the first Splatterhouse game to be released on home consoles. Now, where the other Splatterhouse games are more like kind of like horror and gory with like these, decaying images and stuff like that, Wanpaku Graffiti actually took on a more comical approach where it parodied different horror movies such as like The Fly, Jaws, Aliens, and like Michael Jackson in a few levels, which was actually quite hilarious. And this game is a side-scrolling platformer game with some beat-em-up gameplay elements, but it's also has some like RPG elements in there. And what I mean by that is because it has a number on the top left corner of the screen, I believe, and what you have to do is you have to kill these monsters throughout the level, and say like the number is like 10, and you kill 10 monsters. That would raise Rick's health bar. So the more monsters you kill, the more you level up. So it has that RPG element into it. Now, the story of this game is pretty much like the typical, Mario Princess Peach type of thing. The story starts off with the Pumpkin King being revived by a bolt of lightning, and he wakes up and kidnaps your girlfriend, Jennifer, and basically you just have to save her. It's a very simple plot, very simple story, but it's a very funny and entertaining game. And the ending of this game, I'm not going to spoil the ending, but if you do want to check out the ending, like I said, I did a review on this game where I did spoil the ending. But it's quite hilarious, and there's actually like a hidden bonus ending to this game where if you collect 2 crystal orbs during the gameplay, you can actually unlock the special ending. So, it has more of that RPG elements to it, where like a lot of RPGs have like more than one ending to it. And Dan, you mentioned before you kind of want to get the card of this game. Well, like I said, you could get it on eBay, but if you guys are looking for a reproduction card of this game, you can actually go to www.ReturntoMotherBase.com, and you can get a reproduction card for the original Nintendo of this game. I highly recommend this site. I did pick up my copy here, and you can actually get this game as the original gray card, or you can get it in a nice bloody red cartridge. So
I'm sad because the game's so rare on eBay.
it's not that rare, is it?
No, it's the original on Famicom is extremely rare.
Oh wow.
They rarely pop up, like a copy of them for the original Famicom, they rarely pop up. And then they want like $60 for it or something.
It's been a while since I looked for it on eBay, because I got the reproduction card, so...
How much is the reproduction?
It's cheap, dude. I think it was like $35? Let me go there really quick. They actually have it for 40.
Not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. I actually own this cartridge, so I highly recommend the game. So, and I highly recommend the website, the ReturntoMotherBase.com. So Dan, what piece of RPG gaming do you have for us today?
It's not always RPG gamer.
Well,
it's just weird.
I consider you an RPG guru, so...
I recommended some other ones, like weirder ones, like I recommended EDF 2017 before. I just recommend niche games, so yeah, it's my segment. and I'd like to recommend some weird niche games or just games that are kind of forgotten about, swept under the rug, just to be forgotten about. And I want to recommend a great PS2 game, and not a lot of people have played it, but it's based off a fantastic anime movie that I love a lot. But that is Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex on the PS2, and it's also available on the PSP, but I think the PS2 version is a little better. And this game is actually a fantastic action game, but I like it more for the aspect of its platforming. It is actually a really good 3D platformer, and it's been a long time since I played a good 3D platformer. Just to give you an idea, you play as a girl, obviously, and she can just do all these acrobatic flips and all that, and she can just jump all over the place and hang on ledges, and she's got ridiculous moves, and you can take down guys by doing these crazy kick combos and stuff like that, or you can just shoot them. But it is a really well done action game. It's a lot of fun. You also get to play as the other guy. I forgot his name though, but you get to play as a guy, and it just switches back and forth between missions. Standard objective missions, go to point A to point B, and find these items and stuff like that. But if you're looking for a really good action platforming game, it's definitely Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex. Really well done.
Yeah, I really like that anime series.
Yeah, I like the movie. It's just the movie in general. But I think Techno might be pissed off. So what are you pissed off about this week, Techno?
I am pissed off about my PS3. Okay, I'm playing some NBA Jam, just owning bitches left and right. And then all of a sudden, it starts flickering on the screen. And I'm like, what the hell is this shit? And it's like one of those old TVs that's not hooked up to anything. And, it's just, or whatever. I unplug the HDMI cable and then plug it back in. It keeps doing it. And then I'm like, oh shit. And then I made a YouTube video about it. Made 2 actually, and I was like, oh shit. Before I said oh shit, I took my PS3 to work, took it apart, tried to see if something was loose in there. Nothing was loose, and then came back, and then today I got a new HDMI cable I bought a while back before the PS3 even started messing up. And I was like, oh, maybe it's just the cable or something, which I didn't think was the problem. But then I tried it with the new cable, and it works fucking perfectly. I'm like, what the fuck? Because the bad cable I'm using it for my PC right now, which has no problem. So I have no idea, but I'm glad the PS3 is, working, and I don't have to spend $250 even more, because I need to play that Batman game.
Mm-hmm. So
Yep.
It was the cable more than the port, right?
Yeah, I'm guessing so. I don't know, but I'm using the bad cable right now on my PC, and it's not, messing up. Yeah.
I've had issues.
It's the Mad Catz cable, so.
Yeah, I've had issues with HDMI cables before too. I had one to use my PC on my HD TV, and then it worked perfect for a week, and then the HDMI cable would just totally stop working. So I don't know. I tried to use it for my PS3 because the PS3 only comes with standard AV cables, and it wouldn't work with that. So
Yeah.
that's why I bought some. Instead, I bought some PS3/PS2 composite cables, which work better.
That also pisses me off. Why the hell can't you put, the component cables in with the PS3 and not AV cables? not in 1995 anymore.
Yeah. It's the exact same
fucking
cables that
2011.
Exact same AV cables that you would get with like a PS2. It's like stupid. Like I unboxed my PS3.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, where's the Ethernet cable to hook up my PS3 online? Okay, it comes with standard AV cables. Where's my components? Because like the 360 when I bought it, it came with the AV/component cables. It came with an Ethernet cable. It came with everything you needed to get started.
Yeah.
And then the PS3, I'm like, okay, now I got to buy some components, and luckily I have tons of extra Ethernet cables, so I just use one of those. Like, it should be in there in the first place.
Yeah.
It's question time.
It's question time.
Alright, we do have one question this week, and it's from our previous guest, Play a Lives, or Lives. How do you say it exactly?
Play a Lives.
Play a Lives? Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to say Play a
Lives.
Lives.
Just keep calling it Play Lives.
Hey, I'm going to call him Play a Lives just because I love him so much. And he asked, what is your favorite gaming snack?
Damn you, Playa. No, we already answered this before. No, but gaming snack.
Yeah.
Well, I mentioned it before. I'm just like, I love cup of noodles. They're so easy to make, and they're not really messy. You can just eat them with a fork, and you can just game. So cup of noodles are cool. You know, sometimes chips, like if it doesn't get too messy or it's an easy game to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, the biggest thing for me is just cup of noodles, really, to snack on. And usually got some soda, some cherry RC going, or cherry soda in general. But what about you guys? What about you, Clive?
Well, usually I don't eat anything while I game, because I don't want the oil on my fingers to get on the controller. But since it's like really close to Halloween, I've been eating like a lot of like the Nerds candy. But yeah, usually, like I said, I usually don't eat anything. But since it's Halloween, I just been eating kind of like a lot of candy. So, how about you, Derek?
Well, usually just any kind of chip, except for like Cheetos or Doritos that, you know, gets shit on your fingers and then just messes up your controller, just makes it all slick and shit. Because no one wants to touch that crap.
No.
But yeah, I drink whatever, I have at the time, soda, water.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all. That's it.
That's it.
That is it.
Alright. Well, that was our only question this week. But since I wasn't on last week, I just want to answer like last week's questions if I could, or like just really quick.
Go ahead.
See, I can't remember who asked this question, but someone asked if we could have a favorite arcade cabinet, what would it be?
Yeah.
Hands down, it would definitely just be Pac-Man. Just like the classic Pac-Man, It doesn't have to be like an arcade cabinet. It could be like the tabletop Pac-Man. I would really like one of those. You guys talked about what video game posters you have in your game room.
Yeah.
Currently, right now, I got a Pac-Man one. I have a Mortal Kombat one from the new game. And I got a Kingdom Hearts... Yeah, just the Kingdom Hearts 1 poster. And then I got a whole bunch of, like, movie posters, like Resident Evil, Star Wars, Hulk, Spider-Man, Family Guy, stuff like that. Play Lives brought this weird question, like, best ass, pussy, in gaming, boobs in gaming. Well, okay, best ass, I would have to go with Cammy from Street Fighter.
Yep, I agree. I said that too.
Yeah. Best pussy or vagina, I would have to go Scarlet from Mortal Kombat, because if you guys notice when she's just standing there, not moving, she sways back and forth, and you can actually see she's not wearing any underwear. So I have to give it with her. And favorite best boobs, I'm gonna have to go with Princess Peach because she's hiding a lot, and I think she's hiding a lot. So I could just imagine what's under that pink dress.
Yeah.
And last one is favorite. And last one is favorite NPC you like to abuse. Have to go with Yoshi because you could always like jump off him, and he would drop down into the pit while you as Mario land to safely getting to the goal. So those are my answers for last week's questions.
It's funny you say that because, like, I don't know if you guys seen in my Super Nintendo, like, Rediscovery of My Childhood. I was playing Super Mario World, and, like, at the end, like, right where the gold thing is, I jumped off Yoshi, and, like, to get to the goalpost.
You always jumped off Yoshi. Yeah, man, everyone did that. That's why I'd definitely go with that one as being the most abused.
Poor guy.
So, but those are my answers for last week's questions. So if you guys have any questions for any future episodes, please either comment below on this episode, or you can email us at thepressstartpod@gmail.com, and we will answer them in the next episode.
Yeah.
Maybe naked. Who knows?
I'm already naked.
You're naked?
I'm always naked. Come on, guys.
I'm naked right now.
It's hot in Arizona still.
We were supposed to do this naked?
Did you get the memo?
No.
Yeah.
We're always naked when we record.
Oh, I feel so embarrassed right now. Alright, well, next episode I'll be naked.
Yeah. Okay, so... Okay, guys, that pretty much wraps up episode 7 of the Press Start podcast. Again, we'd like to thank Josh for joining us for the brief time he was on Games of War. He had to go to take care of some other business with his podcast, and you should definitely check out his podcast when it comes out. That's with Point Blank Games and the Asian Guy Gamer. It's called the Cross Platform Podcast. So I'd like to thank him again, and I'd like to thank Playlist for submitting the question, and we definitely need more questions, so you know where you can send them, pressstartpod@gmail.com, or just comment below with a question. But anyways, that is episode 7. Thank you guys again for listening, and I'd like to thank my co-host for joining me.
I'd like to thank you too, Dan.
Oh. I'd like to thank Techno, just for being Techno.
And
Awesome.
before we go, why don't you guys let everyone know where they can find you?
Okay, so you can find me at youtube.com, NostalgicDan1. Follow me on Twitter, same name, NostalgicDan. Like me on Facebook, NostalgicDan. And right now, since this will be up on Saturday, go to twitch.tv. Now, go. Now. Waste no time. I'm doing a 24-hour live stream. I have no idea what a game I'd be playing right now.
He's playing Superman 64.
Yeah, probably. I'm just playing random games for 24 hours. Random games for like this last half of the 24-hour live stream, and then the first half of the 24-hour live stream has like a set schedule kind of. But hop in there. It's for extralife.org. Donate whatever you can. Anything's really appreciated. And where can our listeners find you, Cliva?
They can find me on YouTube under QuickFreeze4. That's the number 4. And they can also find me on Facebook. I have kind of like a community fan page. It's QuickFreeze4's Game Room. You could like me on there, and I do updates for my channel and the podcast on that fan page. So, how about you, TechnosqueK?
Well, they can find me at YouTube and Twitter, and they're both MrTechnosqueek. I think I've said how you can spell it a million times. I don't think it really matters. So yeah, that's where you can find my ass.
Oh yeah. Anyways, bye guys. Thank you for listening.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
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 Love you. Love you guys.
I love you.
Love you all.
I love you. I love you too. I love you. I don't love you, Guava.
You know what? Fuck you.
Yeah. God.
You didn't say I love you back.
Because you just said you hate me, dude.
You know.
Yeah, because you didn't say.
Dude, I'm not gonna
You
get
didn't
in
say
this
I love you whenever I said it.
I'm not gonna get in this discussion with you, man. My feelings are hurt.
Okay, this is over.